Welcome to another episode of Healing Money Talks. My name is Emma Lucy Wall, and I invite you, as I always do, to put the kettle on, make yourself a nice warm drink, find a comfortable place to sit and relax. And if you possibly can, listen deeply to the conversation that's about to unfold. You never know what you might hear. My guest today is Isabelle Giroday. Isabelle is a superconscious recode coach and trainer. She's a speaker and a 4 times award-winning author. She's also the founder of the EXO Kids Project, raising awareness for highly sensitive children, and of the collaborative platform Be Extraordinary TV, which gives voice to all extraordinary beings. I met Isabelle through Sarah McCrum's work, and it's a great honour to have you here. Thank you so much, Isabelle, for joining me.
Thank you so much, Emma, for having me. I'm so excited.
Isabelle, can you tell me a little bit more about what exactly a superconscious recode coach is?
Yes, absolutely. Superconscious recode is about shifting resistance that keep people from having the life that they want, and that is all areas of life, by giving instructions and having a little chat with the superconscious, the field that includes all of us humans. And through that field of information, we can actually give wonderful commands and instructions in order for people to be able to shift and let go of all the resistance that's stopping them from welcoming what they want in their lives.
That sounds like it might have some connection to money and abundance as well as many other things, isn't it?
Yes, you bet it has. It certainly has a lot of connection to money and abundance. Absolutely.
What has your own personal experience been around money in the work that you've been doing?
So my personal experience of money has for a long time was around a scarcity and a really hard time making things profitable, making my work profitable, anything that I would do. It was always, bounce back into scarcity. So it was a bit of a, feast and famine kind of a pendulum. And as a lot of us have when we start out our journeys, we have this this back and forth pattern of having something and then losing it. And money was the area for me. And I was fortunate to come across Sarah's work through a recommendation from a friend. Her book really opened my eyes to a whole new way of thinking around money. And the conversation that actually I could start having with money. And I also enrolled in some of Sarah's training because I wanted to go a bit deeper. And I realized how much relaxation had to do with money and with the fact that we need to relax in order to expand our energy fields. And when we're all contracted and stressed, we can't see opportunities. We don't see the doors that open, and we definitely miss out on an abundant life. So although I was already doing energy work and I was always thinking about relaxing and breathing and everything, I was far, far, far from a person that was a relaxed person. and that it took me actually a number of months to understand that as soon as you start contracting and worrying, especially around money, but I think it goes for other areas as well, the first thing that you actually have to do is you just drop all that you're doing and go and listen to one of her meditations and start relaxing and learn how to shift your focus. And that really allowed me to, although I was in a very, very difficult personal situation, completely open up and receive a lot of abundance, unexpected abundance. And that was, going from welfare and social housing into suddenly having so much that I actually they can give away food and clothes and furniture, and not having to worry about what's going to come next for me, but things started to fall in naturally. So it was a really a game changer, definitely. And my next step on my journey was to become the superconscious coach, because I wanted to be able to give further instructions about what I wanted to do next, and not just about money. And then there is a point where you reach this point where you automatically, that if when you're diverting from, focusing on what you want instead of focusing on what you don't want, and that immediately reduces your field and reduces your chances of actually being abundant. And how it goes so well with Sarah's work, but because it's about being what you want to be now, and and opening yourself now, and not thinking that if I do this, or if I'm this way, or I'm doing this that way, later is going to be better, because then you're implying that today is not good enough. And if you're implying that you're in scarcity today and you're going to be at abundance some of the day, you're actually not giving the right instructions for abundance to come into your life. So we as a coach, I love to show my clients how to shift their focus away from solving problems to creating what they want. And when you do that, and I think it really goes really well with Sarah's work, is that you start focusing on completely different things. And as you know, where we put our intention, grows, and when we focus, we create. And it's really a change of perspective. So that's my that's my little introduction, how I got there with the money.
And it is so true, isn't it? That the more we focus, and everybody says the same thing, everybody has this same experience. If you focus on lack, yes, that's what you're going to get. Money says, okay, you have lack, here, have some more lack. Or you have ill health, or you have no time, okay, here, you can have all of those things. Or we can just shift, and like you say, the relaxation piece is so important, and yet the thing that feels so counterintuitive to everything that we're used to doing in society.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's really the beauty of it. When you start doing it, and you start seeing how the changes that actually, the real changes that happen, and you can always go back to that relaxation, which really is about letting go of your fears and worries, and opening up, and letting serendipity work for you, and really opening up to opportunities. And what I like about the subconscious recode is that you also start giving instructions. You start focusing on really what you want, so you get very clear on what your true choices are, what are the core things that you really want, and how do you get there. We put in place a creative structure to get you, from where you are to where you want to be, and shifting those resistances, and really speaking to money and to the field in general. This is okay, this is where I want to go, and this is, these are the steps that I'm going to take, and all the resistance that is going to come up, because it always does.
Mm-hmm.
How do we let go of it? And relaxation is part of it. We're letting go of all the things that are in our way.
Yeah, and the resistance is about safety, yes, or perceived safety. It's the ego and the reptilian brain keeping us in this thing that, when we're not coming out of the cave, we can't get killed, but we're not in caves anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. The brain is, well, our subconscious is so wired for our safety and our survival, and it really doesn't like what's unfamiliar. So it will go to a great extent to sabotage any attempts to go into unfamiliar territory, even if it's what we want. So we really need to reassure that part of us, that aspect of us, that everything is going to be okay, that that part is not going to be put aside or die if we reach our goals, and that we are going to retain the wisdom and the knowledge that we required all these years and all the past generations, because subconscious field does draw in at least 7 generations back, things that come in through our family field, and some of it can really sabotage our way to abundance and more money. So we look at that as well, and get all that, just letting go of all that resistances, all these beliefs and all the things that are not necessarily ours, but are in our field, and that really doesn't do us all that good all the time.
Definitely not. And letting go is an interesting concept that, again, people are used to being we get very attached to our sense of how things are. I'm reading Letting Go at the moment by David Hawkins, and finding it such a powerful thing. And really now becoming super conscious of when I'm not letting go, of when I go into those old habits.
Yes, absolutely. The difficult part, and so we can always do everything on our own. I think the part where the coach comes in is that while they can point out things much quicker, they can enhance the process and make it you go faster towards your result. But also, it's our blind spots. Sometimes it's hard to let go of sometimes things that we're not sure where we're putting the finger on. Is it the right thing? Is it where we should put the finger on? And is it what we should be doing? And so to avoid going into the problem solving or, I need fixing mentality, because superconscious recode coaches, our baseline is that, you're not broken. You don't need fixing. If you don't have what you want in your life, you just need to shift the resistance. It's you're letting go. So letting go is really at the core of things. And we don't need to go into the why of things and the how of this and what happened and tell me more about this trauma or what happened when you were 5. We don't need all that. What we need to do is just get you in the right creative structure so that you can create what you want and really let go of all the rest. So I would say it's really complementary of Sarah's work. Sarah is getting really into the conversation with money and letting go and starting creating what you want. And then continuation for me was to have a tool, like a really creative structure that I could help my clients get into. And that goes down into how what you want to do every day. How are you shaping your day to go towards your vision? So it's really tangible things.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things I love about Sarah's work actually is she starts, if she's working in smaller groups, she'll start to say, so tell us about what you're doing now. And she's not interested in the stuff of the past, and in fact gets quite cross if anybody goes back into the past. And I have had a lot of talk therapy and a lot of counselling and grinding over all that stuff that happened when I was a child and those big brothers of mine, and it doesn't serve. Actually, all it does is just keep grinding that energy round and round and amplifying it, giving it more power over us. And when we can learn to just release it, we can grow so much more quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now that is, of course, with Sarah's work and Chris Duncan, who teaches the subconscious recode process. I mean, these are the visionaries of the self-development world. These are the tools that we need for tomorrow. So of course, it's a little bit it's a little bit avant-garde. I mean, a lot of people want you to think that you need fixing and that you have to take yet another course, or you have to change that belief, or you have to do some light language, money thing, or you know, it's a definitely another way of looking at things, and shifting the perspective is so key, and letting go. So
And it can be so much quicker, can't it? Than
absolutely. And like you
instead.
say, instead of dwelling in the past and enhancing all that, we can actually just completely disregard it. So of course, a lot of people are going to say, well, if you say that, you know, I'm out of business. But I'm like, yeah, I don't need to know. I don't need to know any of it. I'm not, it's not that I'm not interested in having a conversation, and certainly reassuring the subconscious that, you know, everything is okay, and we're considering everything, you know, but that's just to have a conversation with the different parts of you that are awake at the time of the conversation, and then trying to yeah, reassuring the subconscious that, you know, it's okay, and we're the way it's been programmed, we understand all this programming and everything, but we don't actually need to dwell. And of course, yeah, for somebody who is a psychologist, or, you know, a psychotherapist, and whose main concern is to have you talk and talk and talk. I mean, you know, talk therapy, if it worked, we knew about it, I think, by now.
It's been going
I'm
on long
sorry
enough.
to say it's a bit harsh, but so these are the new tools, because when we, you know, look at neuroscience today, and brain plasticity, I mean, neuroscience is part of what is used for these new tools, this new way of thinking, and how we can consciously change things. It is based on the fact that, you know, we now know with epigenetics that we are not born with a set a new amount of neurons. We're not born with a set, you know, brain, and then nothing can ever change. And then we know now how the brain filters the information based on the beliefs that have been created, and how it creates programming to match this. So we know that if we change, you know, we shift things, we can totally shift our reality. So it's really based on I would say the past, yeah, discoveries of the past 10 years, and all the research that's being done every day by organizations, and by people that are really into learning how things work, and it's you know, we know when we relax what happens to the brain. We can measure all these things.
Yeah.
And how when people meditate, or you know, get into this these alpha waves, or even other ways, because there are many other ones, how the brain does change, and how what happens then to the body, and how you know, much better they can feel, and how these eases can go, you know, and they can shift them away. I mean, there's so many things that are happening right now in the world that are new, but they're actually quite scientifically based when you start looking at them. And thank God that there is a lot of research done, because some things may seem a bit woo-woo for those who are not familiar. And so Sarah does an extraordinary work in bringing abundance, and also I would say generosity in a mainstream, and making a point of saying there is enough for everyone, and we need to shift our perspective, and really start looking at this as being a possible, you know, reality.
Yeah, completely. It's just a choice thing, isn't it? The way I see money is we've attached a certain set of beliefs around it, and a certain set of words, actions, and we can choose to just do completely different things with it, and to not be scared. One of my favorite things in all of these conversations, it's not actually somebody who I ended up interviewing, but it was somebody who I was chatting about the summit, and she said, yeah, you just try having a vegetable patch for one. I've probably said this in other interviews, but like, it just keeps giving, and money is just, it's just the energy of exchange. and value, and that's and love, and there's no end to those things. If you value something, I find I've always got money for personal development. It doesn't really seem to matter what. When people look at their lives, you know, if you're into motorsports, for example, you will probably find that you always have what you want for the thing that gives you your bliss. And there seem to be these themes that run through for everybody: meditation, working in your bliss, and this allowing and relaxation seem to be vital ingredients that are across the board. Very valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. I also find that there's something that's across the board that is quite unfortunate, very rooted belief, is that people that are in the, coaching, healing type of industry, many of them struggle to charge for what they do. And it's a very interesting programming, because if you think about it from a little bit a higher standpoint, isn't it interesting that those that want to raise the vibration of the planet or raise the consciousness of a humanity and help humanity on its, way here to higher vibrations, isn't that interesting that they have such a programming, struggling to get paid and struggling to charge. And therefore, it makes it very difficult for them to actually live out of their gifts, and therefore to actually practice what they know and share. And many have part-time jobs, and many struggle. And I just find that programming so interesting and so appropriate, because it really for those who do not want to see the consciousness of humanity evolve, it's just so appropriate. But that to kind of discussion, I have myself been there, where I just would love to do what I want, because obviously I love my work. So I was really happy to do it for free. But like, why do I actually have to charge for this? Because this is so uncomfortable. And so I have been there. And it's wonderful, because I had a colleague had did the record on me, so I could shift that belief. And oh, what a relief. And I finally was able to explain to a friend of mine who knows a lot of people who have no money. And I used to, and I still do, free sessions, but I don't just do free sessions. That's the difference. And I actually told her one day, I said, when you go to the dentist, do you walk out of there saying, well, I don't have any money, so I'm not paying? When you go to the psychologist, because psychologists have a state diploma, at least in France, do you walk out and say, no, I'm sorry, I can't pay you? When you go and buy a pack of, when you go buy a bottle of milk, do you say to the store people, I'm sorry, I don't have money? No, you just assume that you're going to be paying for what it is that you just, what you were giving, right? Whether it's food, or whether it's intangible, whether it's a service. And she was like, yeah, okay, so why is it then that I shouldn't be charging for my services? I understand that there are people that are in a scarcity mode. That's their, belief. But that's all it is. It's just a belief. So why, and she's like, oh yeah, this is interesting. And let me look at it that way. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm looking at it that way now. So I'm really happy to help all your friends. And I'm happy to include a free session in the bundle, but I will not be working for free any longer. And she was like, okay. But and since that day, everything changed around, and because I finally got it, I finally nailed it. So I just want to say to the listeners and the viewers that if that's where you are now, there's hope, don't despair. And you finally nail it. It's just, oh my God, it's like, I finally get it. It was such a relief to just really, and honestly, I've tried so many things, so many courses, the money karma thing, and and the download this code thing, and I've tried everything. And my first step on the journey was to take Sarah's course and really hone into what money was all about,
Mm.
and letting go of all the fear and stress, and then recoding my beliefs, and then
Yeah.
that was
Well,
that it.
without that consciousness, without that awareness, and actually taking a look and saying what is actually going on here,
Yeah,
it's very
yeah,
difficult to shift
yeah,
anything. But thank you
absolutely.
for raising that, because I imagine there will be a lot of healers and a lot of therapists listening to this, and you all know by now that this is really my thing. Is just because we find these things easy, we've also often paid a lot of money for our training,
Oh yeah,
and we
absolutely.
go on. I mean, what most healers and therapists, their growth and their development in their practices is a never-ending thing. And
Yeah.
so just because you find it easy, it doesn't mean that it's not incredibly valuable. And as Isabel was saying before about having where the money is in society, if when healers are moving money on this current of love, and the energy around money shifts, we're just going to have a more harmonious environment to live in, both in between us as humans and with us and our planet. So I think it's really important that we start to address this.
Absolutely. And what I love about the collective, because we're always so much more powerful when there are many of us. So I regularly offer group sessions for free, and I do group calls because I think it's really important to get together. And I love, and I know Sarah is all in about raising, the collective consciousness, and doing things as a collective. And one way to go about things is as you help others raise their money and their abundance level, what you do is you say, okay, I'm going to help you do this so that you can shift things in your life,
Mm.
and then explain that in exchange, what you can do is you can uh, make a donation, or you can choose how much you want to contribute with. Like, because I know Sarah does this, she says, okay, you have a choice, you can contribute 25 or 75 or 100, so you choose how much you can contribute. And so and other ways of exchanging, for me, it has also been, people will give me food, or they will give me, I need a paint job done, so they will help me paint something, or they will, I need to go to my garage and they will drive me. So there are other ways of exchanging. It doesn't have to be currency,
No,
no,
absolutely.
notes and coins, but there's so many ways we can actually help each other raise that money vibration, and share. The more of us share what we know about money and how it works, and help others raise their. I just think it's just such a beautiful act of love, and a collective way of sharing this love.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And on the subject of of freebies, I know that you're offering our listeners a free gift. Do you want to quickly talk about it, about what it is?
Yes, I have a wonderful meditation called Extraordinary Success that you can listen to, and you can just plug it in your ears when you're about to fall asleep, because it works very well on your subconscious, or you can do that first thing in the morning if you want, and it preps your brain for success. And I learned to do this as a rapid transformational therapist with Marissa Peer. And I love these meditations because our subconscious really needs to be acquainted with the fact that we are going from a familiar to unfamiliar territory. And the way we rewire the brain is through repetition.
Mhm.
And by being relaxed in a relaxed state, we are more receptive to suggestions, and the subconscious also relaxes and becomes more receptive to the idea of increased success, for example, as it can be for increased confidence or other things. And so I love to be able to offer that for people who are interested. And on my website, there's also an opportunity to, for example, join the Facebook group and then benefit from a free recode session, or hop on a webinar, learn more. There's plenty of ways that people can connect with me, and I think it's so important to stick together as a community, and also learn from each other, because I learn from other people every day.
Absolutely, yeah. If we stop learning, then
We're done.
growing. Isabelle, thank you so, so much for your time and for your wisdom and for your generosity.
You're
I'm
so welcome.
really, really grateful to you.
It was my honor. Thank you so much for interviewing me, and I can't wait to meet all the happy, amazing people who are going to listen to us.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.